The shocking truth is that every 32 seconds, another car in America disappears the same way. And it isn't brute force anymore. Thieves are using gadgets, psychology, and even a simple coin to fool you. Today, I'll reveal 13 methods they use, and trust me, the 11th one will have you checking your driveway tonight. Number 13, the penny trap. Let's start with the most deceptively simple and dangerous warning sign that criminals have targeted your vehicle. If you see a coin wedged in your car door handle, do not ignore it. This isn't some random prank or coincidence. It's a setup. Here's how this nightmare begins. Someone places a coin, usually a penny or a nickel, in your door handle mechanism. And because of that, when you try to lock your car with a key fob, that door won't engage. The lights flash, the car beeps, and you walk away thinking everything's secure. However, that one door remains unlocked. From here, things get even worse. Now they wait. You head into work, the mall, or wherever, and that's when they make their move. They can slip in quietly, grab valuables, or worse, hide in your back seat waiting for you to return. In some cases, victims have even been followed home, and others have been robbed at gunpoint right in their own driveways. The psychological element is terrifying, and that's what makes it so effective. It's so simple that most people dismiss it as meaningless. After all, who calls 911 over a penny? But that dismissive attitude is exactly what criminals are counting on. And the truth is, this isn't just theft. It's about stalking, control, and vulnerability. Women in particular have been targeted specifically and tragically. Some people never made it home. So if you find a coin in your door handle, stop everything. Take a breath. Check your surroundings immediately and don't get into the car until you're absolutely certain you're safe. If anything feels off, call the police without hesitation and make sure to warn others in the area too. It might seem like nothing, but in reality it's everything because I've seen what happens when people ignore the warning signs, and trust me, you don't want to. Number 12, daylight robbery. Now let's talk about the boldest theft method I've ever seen. Stealing your car in broad daylight while everyone assumes it's legal. Fake tow truck operations are exploding across the country, and they are absolutely brilliant in the worst possible way. Imagine walking out of work to find your parking spot empty. There's no broken glass, no alarms, and no tire marks. At first, your natural thought is, great, I got towed. However, here's the plot twist. You didn't get towed at all. You got robbed by someone in a beat-up flatbed truck. These criminals cruise through apartment complexes, office buildings, and even mall parking lots in trucks that look just official enough to be believable. They may not have company logos or uniforms, yet they appear as if they are simply doing their job. Because of that, they target cars parked slightly crooked, vehicles with expired tags, or anything else that gives them plausible deniability. And the truly genius part lies in the psychology. Nobody questions a tow truck. Instead, passersby usually think, sucks for that guy, but he probably deserved it. As a result, while no one raises suspicion, your car is already on its way to being stripped in a chop shop across town. In fact, one customer told a story where he called 3 different towing companies trying to track down his towed Camaro. Eventually, he discovered it was never towed at all, but stolen by guys with a truck and some serious nerve. So how do you protect yourself? For long-term parking, use wheel locks to make your car harder to move. In addition, consider installing hidden GPS trackers so you can locate your vehicle if it gets taken. And if you ever see suspicious tow activity in your area, don't just ignore it, report it immediately. Number 11, the invisible key heist. Here's something that sounds like science fiction, yet it happens in driveways every single day. It's called a keyless relay attack, and it's absolutely diabolical. So picture this scenario. You're watching Netflix in your living room while your car keys sit innocently on the kitchen counter. At the same time, 2 guys are outside your house with devices that look like oversized calculators. One stands by your front window, and the other waits by your car. Now, here's the scary part. They're not breaking anything, yet they're stealing your key's signal right through the walls. And this is how the nightmare unfolds. Your key fob constantly whispers to your car saying, "Hey, I'm here." But those relay boxes, they're like signal amplifiers on steroids. The first guy captures that whisper from 100 feet away, then instantly broadcasts it to the second guy standing next to your car. As a result, your car thinks, "Oh great, my key is right here." Click, Vroom, gone. No alarms, no broken windows, no evidence. Instead, you're left with an empty driveway and a very expensive insurance claim. And here's the kicker, this isn't just some theoretical threat. Entire neighborhoods are getting hit, especially in affluent suburbs where push-to-start vehicles are everywhere. But don't panic just yet, because here's how you fight back. First, grab a Faraday pouch. They cost around $15 on Amazon, and they block radio signals completely. Second, don't leave your keys near windows or exterior walls, because that makes the thief's job way too easy. Finally, check if your car has an option to disable the key fob signal when parked, and if it does, use it. Number 10. Code snatchers. Now, if you think hitting that lock button makes you safe, think again, because we're diving into something called code grabbing, and it's like having a digital pickpocket follow you around. You know that satisfying beep beep when you lock your car? Well, while you're feeling secure, some creep sitting 3 cars over could be recording that exact sound, and more importantly, the invisible code that went with it. These code-grabbing devices may look like innocent black boxes, but they're basically electronic vampires quietly sucking up your lock signal and storing it for later. And here's the truly messed up part. While you're walking into the store thinking your car is locked tight, they're already inside rifling through your stuff. No broken windows, no pried doors, just your own signal played back to your car as if they had the master key all along. So how do you stop these digital thieves? Well, there are a few things you can do. First, avoid using your fob in crowded parking lots. Instead, manually lock your doors with the key. Or better yet, if your car supports it, switch to a rolling code system, because that changes the signal every single time, making recorded codes completely useless. Number 9. Inside job. Spare key theft. Sometimes the biggest threat to your car is not a masked stranger, but someone you handed your keys to voluntarily. Spare key theft is an inside job, and it can happen anywhere you trust someone with your vehicle. Valets, mechanics, dealership service techs, and body shop workers are usually honest people doing honest work, but it only takes one bad apple to turn your routine oil change into a grand theft disaster. Here's how their playbook usually works. You drop your car off for service and someone quietly makes a copy of your key or notes down the key codes from your file. At the same time, they check your registration, which gives them your name and address. 2 weeks later, you return home to find an empty driveway, and there are no signs of forced entry. The psychological trick here is almost perfect, because you would never suspect the guy who just changed your oil. Since there's no broken glass or damaged locks, most people assume they forgot to lock up or misplaced their keys. Meanwhile, the thief simply used a legitimate copy to walk up and drive away as if he owned the car. Now, your best protection protocol is straightforward. Only use trusted, well-reviewed services and remove all personal documents from your glove box. Never leave house keys or garage remotes in the car. If your vehicle offers valet mode, make sure you use it, and always ask shops about their key storage policies. Trust people when you must, but always verify everything. Number 8. The brain hack. This next one is going to blow your mind and probably make you paranoid about that little port under your dashboard. Every car built after 1996 has something called an OBD port. Think of it like your car's USB port, and thieves have figured out how to exploit it. Here's the play. They slip into your car, pop off the panel by your feet, and plug in a device that looks like a smartphone. In under 4 minutes, they've programmed a brand new key that works flawlessly. No alarms, no alerts. Your car's computer thinks the key is completely legitimate. I watched security footage of this exact trick on a $65,000 F-150. A guy in a hoodie, broad daylight, nothing suspicious. Plug in, tap some codes, unplug, start the truck, and drive off. The whole thing was quicker than ordering a coffee. The worst part, factory alarms stay silent because the system thinks nothing is wrong. It's like hacking your car's brain to erase you from its memory. If you want to stop this, the simplest step is to lock or even relocate that OBD port. Thieves don't usually waste time searching for something that isn't in the usual spot. Adding a steering wheel lock on top only makes your car look like more trouble than it's worth. Number 7. Signal killers. So you're smart. You installed a GPS tracker to monitor your car. Congratulations, you're now 95% protected instead of completely vulnerable. But that missing 5% is where modern thieves live, and they've got technology that'll make your tracker about as useful as a chocolate teapot. GPS jammers are small, cheap, and devastatingly effective. The moment someone starts your car with one of these devices powered up, your tracker goes completely dark. No signal, no location data, no alerts, nothing. Your $200 investment becomes an expensive paperweight. I've seen organized crews hit high-end cars with jammers already running. They work fast, get the vehicle underground or into a container, and by the time the jamming stops, your car's untraceable and probably halfway to another continent. The really sick part is how cheap and accessible this technology has become. What used to be military-grade equipment is now available to any criminal with internet access and pocket change. But here's your counter strategy. Use multiple trackers in different locations. Hide one, hardwire another. Choose systems that send alerts when they detect jamming, and add non-GPS security like kill switches. They can't jam something that's purely mechanical, because once they kill your signal, they own your car. Number 6, collision course. This next scam turns a minor fender bender into Grand Theft Auto, and it happens faster than you can process what's going on. Someone lightly taps your bumper at a red light or in a parking lot. Nothing serious, just a little bump. You react the way most people would, pulling over, shutting off the car, and stepping out to check the damage. That's exactly when their partner makes a move. While you're distracted, looking at the bumper and talking about insurance, an accomplice slips into your driver's seat and drives off with everything you own. Car, purse, phone, even kids' car seats in the back. By the time you realize what happened, you're left standing in disbelief as your vehicle disappears. It actually happened in broad daylight to a woman outside a grocery store. A family SUV filled with personal belongings, gone in seconds. The setup was simple. A light tap, her stepping out with the keys still in the ignition, and the thief taking advantage of the opening. The psychology behind it is clever. They are banking on your natural instinct to act responsibly and handle the situation. You're conditioned to step out and do the right thing after an accident, and that split second of trust is all they need. The best defense is to stay alert. Always shut off the engine and take your keys before leaving the car. Lock the doors, even if you're just stepping out for a moment. And if anything feels off, remain inside and call the police. A little caution and awareness can keep you from becoming the next target. Number 5, the confidence game. Sometimes the simplest scams are the most effective, and test drive theft proves exactly that. It preys on basic human trust, and it's happening to both dealers and private sellers every single day. The setup is almost comically straightforward. A criminal shows up, looking professional, dressed in nice clothes, polite in demeanor, carrying a fake ID, and maybe even bogus insurance papers. Then they take your car for a test drive and simply never come back. That's it. There's no elaborate scheme and no high-tech gadgets, just old-fashioned confidence artistry. Yet the simplicity is exactly what makes it so dangerous, because it works by exploiting our natural desire to be helpful and trusting. Even seasoned dealers have been burned by this trick. For example, one small-town lot lost a loaded Charger to a man whose ID actually belonged to someone who had been dead for 2 years. By the time anyone realized, the car was already in pieces before sunset. And the psychology behind it is perfect. When someone is trying to buy from you, your guard naturally drops. You want to make the sale, so you give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's exactly what these thieves are counting on. So the smartest move is to put prevention first. Always photocopy the buyer's ID and insurance before handing over the keys, and either ride along or have someone follow in another vehicle. It also helps to meet in public areas with security cameras instead of isolated spots. Most importantly, trust your gut, because if something feels off, it probably is. Number 4, identity crisis. Here's where things get really twisted. Sometimes thieves don't just steal your car, they steal its entire identity. VIN cloning is essentially identity theft for vehicles, and it creates legal nightmares that can haunt you for years. The process itself is disturbingly calculated. Thieves start by stealing a car, then they search for a legitimate vehicle of the exact same make, model, and year, usually from online ads or dealer listings. Once they find one, they copy that car's VIN number and slap it onto the stolen vehicle, complete with forged titles, registrations, and even inspection stickers. With that, they now have what appears to be a clean, stolen car that easily passes basic checks. An unsuspecting buyer, thinking they've scored a great deal on Facebook Marketplace, happily drives it home. But just a couple of weeks later, police show up with devastating news. Sir, this vehicle was reported stolen 3 months ago. And here's the real nightmare. The buyer is suddenly out thousands of dollars and could even be facing criminal charges. Meanwhile, the actual stolen car is sitting legally in someone else's driveway across the country, creating a tangled mess of ownership disputes. I've seen this completely destroy people financially and emotionally. For example, one young guy bought what he thought was a clean Mustang. He paid cash, drove it proudly for 3 weeks, and then watched it get seized right in front of him. Just like that, he lost everything. So how do you protect yourself? Start by running VINs through NICB and Carfax. Both are free tools that can save you a fortune. Then, check for tampering signs like mismatched rivets, scratched dashboards, or uneven VIN plates. Always verify that the VIN matches across the title, dashboard, door jamb, and engine bay. And finally, trust your instincts. If anything looks fishy, it's safer to walk away. Number 3, old school cool. Think modern cars are immune to old school break-in methods? Think again, because the Slim Jim is still alive and well in 2025, and it remains terrifyingly effective on the right vehicles. If your car has manual locks or an older security system, then you're basically driving around in a jewelry box with a paper lock. This is because Slim Jims are designed to slip between the window and the weather stripping so they can hook the internal mechanism and pop the door open in less than 30 seconds. For example, I saw a customer lose his 2005 Tacoma during his lunch break. He had parked it right in front of a diner in broad daylight in what looked like a safe neighborhood. Yet a thief walked up casually with a Slim Jim in his hand, and he had the truck unlocked and started before the owner even finished his sandwich. To make it worse, the whole thing was caught on security footage, and the thief looked calm, quiet, and almost professional while he worked. And instead of hiding the tool, he tossed it on the sidewalk just a block away like it was nothing. In the end, a $15 piece of metal had just made off with a $15,000 truck. What makes it even scarier is that these tools are completely legal to buy online. They are advertised for locksmiths, but in reality, anyone with a credit card can order a professional-grade version and have it delivered straight to their door. So what can you actually do? If you drive an older vehicle, you should consider installing an aftermarket alarm system because extra layers of security make a huge difference. And to add even more protection, you can use steering wheel locks, pedal locks, or any other device that slows a thief down. Since thieves are always looking for easy targets, the more time and complexity you add, the more likely they are to move on to someone else's car. Number 2, false Samaritan. Not all criminals dress like criminals. Sometimes they dress like concerned citizens trying to help you avoid disaster. The fake emergency scam is pure psychological manipulation, and it's surprisingly effective. The script goes like this. "Excuse me, your tire looks flat. Ma'am, something's leaking under your car. Oh, I think someone hit your bumper." They approach frantically, acting like they're saving you from catastrophe. Out of genuine concern, you crack your window or step out to investigate. That's the moment everything goes wrong. While you're distracted, checking for non-existent damage, their partner slips into your car or snatches valuables you left behind. It's coordinated, it's fast, and it happens in broad daylight, surrounded by witnesses who think they're watching someone get help. This method particularly targets women and elderly drivers, people who might be more trusting or less physically imposing. The criminals count on social pressure and genuine human kindness to create opportunity. The cruel irony? Your desire to be a responsible car owner becomes the weapon they use against you. They're literally weaponizing your conscientiousness. Now, for protection, the protocol is simple. Never exit your vehicle just because someone is yelling. Instead, keep your doors locked, crack your window only slightly, and if something feels suspicious, drive to a well-lit and populated area before investigating anything. Number 1. Airport ambush. And now we reach the most psychologically sophisticated scam on our list. You're exhausted, rushing to catch a flight, juggling luggage and stress, exactly when criminals love to strike. The rental return ruse exploits travel chaos, and it's hitting airports hard. You pull into the rental return area looking for the official drop-off. Someone in a vest approaches with a clipboard, looking every bit the part of a rental employee. "Just leave the keys with me, I'll get it checked in." You hand them over, grab your bags, and rush off to catch your flight. Congratulations, you just gave a complete stranger a free car. By the time the real rental company realizes the vehicle never made it back, your helpful employee is long gone. Some victims get charged for the missing vehicle. Others face legal complications for months. I've spoken with 2 people recently who are still dealing with the aftermath of this exact scam. The beauty of it, from a criminal's perspective, is the environment. Airports are chaotic, people are distracted, everyone's in a hurry. Perfect conditions for social engineering. Your best defense is to only return vehicles at official counters or secured lots with clear signage. Always verify employee credentials, ask for printed receipts, and take photos of both the car and the person who accepts it. If the counter is closed, use drop boxes. The rule is simple: never trust someone just because they look the part. Now you know how modern car thieves really operate. They're not just smashing windows anymore. They're using psychology, technology, and social engineering to turn your daily routine against you. But knowledge is power. Every trick I've shown you has a counter strategy. Every scam has a weakness. The difference between becoming a victim and staying safe often comes down to awareness and preparation. If this video opened your eyes to threats you never knew existed, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to see this. Subscribe for more real-world security tips that could literally save your life. And remember, in the world of car theft, paranoia isn't a disorder, it's a survival skill. Stay alert out there.